Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka. It is a Thursday, folks. It is the 15th of November. Welcome to the program. And before we get into the show for today, of course, we start off with check on today's headlines. Well, it reads, government to discuss 13th Amendment with all parties, says repealing 13th Amendment is not its official position. The government yesterday expressed its readiness to discuss the repealing or amending the 13th Amendment to the Constitution with all political parties, including the Tamil parties. And the main quote here reads, repealing the 13th Amendment is not the official stance of the government. Also, another headline reads, is government rejecting the joint statements with UN, India, Ranil? Opposition United National Party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday asked the government to clearly state its stand on the 13th Amendment. He also asked whether the government was rejecting the May 26, 2009 joint statement with UN Secretary Ban Ki-moon. And, well, what happened a couple of days back, if I'm mistaken, some 1,000 students hospitalized, actually this yesterday. More than 1,000 students of the Gampola Ginarajan Girls' School were admitted to the Gampola Teaching Hospital when they suddenly took ill. School officials said the beginning of the morning sessions, the students who were towards their classroom had developed itching with red patches on their body. And for more bad news, vehicles prices will go up. The excise duty on all vehicles have gone up by between 200,000 to 500,000 rupees in the 2013 budget, thus greatly increasing the prices of all vehicles. And speaking here, the chairman of the Vehicle Importers Association said the prices of small cars, such as the Maruti, would go up by 200,000, while models like the full sedan would go up by between 200 and 250,000, depending on the year of manufacture. That is. Now, checking on the business side of the news, according to this budget 2013, mixed reactions to tea concessions. Budget proposal concerning the tea sectors have met with a mixed reception from industry stakeholders who welcome the direction of policies while questioning the relevance and adequacy of concessions and monetary allocations for subsidy. Also coming to the country, the World Bank Managing Director is due in Colombo. The World Bank Managing Director, Sri Mulyani Idawati, will visit Sri Lanka from November 15 to the 19th to find out how the development institution can do more to support the country's progress, according to the World Bank statement released by World Bank Colombo office. And now moving on to the sports section of the dailies. It says here, Windies on top as Chanderpaul hits double ton. West Indies, Chanderpaul hits his second ever double century, and Dinesh Ramdin struck an unbeaten 126 as the tourists took command of the first test against Bangladesh on Wednesday. Also, McIlroy piles up further Player of the Year honors. This is in golf. World number one Rory McIlroy added further accolades to his already bulging resume when he was named PGA winner of the PGA of America Player of the Year award and the Vardon Trophy on Monday. And now I'll find one more story that we need to check out. Manchester United cuts debt, confident of hitting financial goals. Now, for all the fans of MU, a strong start to the season and new sponsorship deals have reinforced English Premier League soccer club Manchester United's confidence it will hit this year's financial targets despite lower quarter earnings. So that's a quick look at today's main stories. We have a very interesting conversation. This is, of course, in support of a forum that is on violence against women. That is all when we come back. So more of GMSL after this. And okay, let me correct myself. I have been mistaken in that one. Let me just interest you with some story. Just in case you haven't heard yet, People magazine have released this year's Sexiest Man Alive. It is not Brad Pitt. It is not Colin Farrell. It is actually Channing Tatum, who was named People's Sexiest Man. Yes, read a little bit into this one. When you play a male stripper in a film and spend most of your scenes half naked, you pretty much automatically get nominated for the Sexiest Man Alive title and probably have a good chance of winning. Indeed, Magic Mike star Channing Tatum did just that and clinched the honor of being People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive for 2012. 12. So there you go. He is actually on the cover. Okay, we will no longer take a break because we have a packed show for today, and today also being the start of Sri Lanka Design Festival, 15th of November. We'll have a discussion on that as well. But first, let me welcome inside the studio. We're very privileged to have with us. This is in line with the forum that is on violence against women and all their activities. We have with us the independent consultant on gender issues, education, and training evaluation. Also the president of the Sarvodaya Women's Movement, and also consultant with the UN FPA. We're very privileged to have with us the very respected Dr. Sujata Vijayatilaka. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
So, ma'am, let's just as we start the conversation, just tell inform our viewers what's happening, and this is on the forum, and I know it leads to the Human Rights International Human Rights Day. There's 16 days of
16 days of activism.
So it kicks off when?
On the 25th.
On the 25th, and there will be series of activities, and then it ends on the 10th of December. There will be walks and forums and all this stuff. And you are representing the Sarvodaya Women's Movement. Yes. So, if being the president of the Sarvodaya Women's Movement, can you say something first about what your organization is all about?
The Sarvodaya Women's Movement was established in 1987 as an independent unit of the Lanka Jatika Sarvodaya Shramadana Society, which started in 1958. So we are 25 years old, and the mother organization is 54 years.
Yes, ma'am.
We stand for the empowerment of women, for their well-being, and also work against violence of women.
What way do you decide to be part? As a profession, you are a doctor. Yeah. So what made you
in the sense doctor in education?
Oh, a PhD. Okay. So as an educator, what made you decide to be part of Sarvodaya Women's Movement? What was the need at the time that you decided?
I was a member for a long time as a young student. I was following Sarvodaya because it was started as a students' movement by Dr. A.T. Ariratna, who was then a school teacher. And from that time onwards, gradually I became a member of some of the other units as well.
Was there ever a particular incident that you could share with us that made you say, I really need to get involved in the movement, and not just a quiet member, but to really lead the movement? Was there a particular incident that inspired you truly that this needs to be done?
The movement, I really admire the philosophy of the Sarvodaya Shramadana Sangamaya. It stands for the awakening of Sarva is the entire universe. It stands for the awakening, first of yourself, then of the family, then the community, and then society as a whole. So that philosophy attracted me. And Dr. Ariratna follows the Gandhian principles. So that was also another attraction that led me to be an active member of the Sarvodaya.
Reading a little bit into the movement, your major concern is not just for women's issues and women's, but also children, violence against children. How can you talk about this a little bit?
The women's movement is specially dedicated to take care of the women and the children, because Sarvodaya looks at it in a holistic manner, as a family.
As a family.
As a family. So we are concerned not only about women, but also about the children. And the Sarvodaya at the very beginning in the 1950s had hundreds of preschools for children, hundreds of preschools. And the backbone of the whole organization is the mothers groups. They are at the base, at the field level. And Sarvodaya works in over 15,000 villages in the country.
15,000. Wow.
It's the biggest and the oldest civil society movement.
Ma'am, you mentioned about that the concentration on the family, the women and the children. But what if what for the person who instigated violence is part of the family. How does the organization deal with that? How does the organization look at violence against women and children when the perpetrator is a family member? Yes.
Sarvodaya also stands for the spiritual awakening of the family, and takes a look at the family as a whole in a holistic manner.
Okay.
And there's no tolerance of violence. It's zero tolerance. So that's what Sarvodaya stands for. And in case there are incidents of violence in families, the perpetrator is like say, the father or the brother.
Because according to statistics, it's always someone you know. Violence that's inflicted on a person.
Very often.
Yeah,
very often. It's very
you know.
rarely that it's an unknown person.
Yeah, it's true. So so how does this integrate into
when we like the mothers group in a village? It's the sort of the community approach. Where in the village, the whole village, you know each other.
Yeah.
And the mothers groups come together. When they come together, they can really work against stand up for any family that's being harassed or abused. So that group, the solidarity, being part of the Sarvodaya family, we call it the Sarvodaya family. We have meetings which are called family gatherings.
Okay.
Every day in Moroto we have a meeting. And so this solidarity also helps in eliminating or preventing violence.
How was the movement able to convince women or other people that this is not just a problem that is just family? Because normally that is the reaction of people when they hear banging on someone's banging on or crashing things on the next door, like your neighbor. You always think this is a a problem that is just for them. You shouldn't step in. This has nothing to do with none of my business. So how did you manage to, or the movement managed to convince
to a great extent? Because I think this is very common in the urban areas where you are to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
The families are like nuclear families. But in the villages it's different, and especially the members of the Sarvodaya movement, they feel they are together. So they would come up, stand up, and try to assist their sisters in trouble.
So if you could elaborate on that, how just before we get into a break, how is the first steps on eliminating or at least trying to lessen the incidents of violence against women and children?
Number one is to create awareness, because it's often it's born in silence. So to break the silence, that's the most important thing. So it's creating awareness with the mothers themselves, the mothers groups. You talk about it, and then slowly one or two mothers will come up, this is happening in my family and I need support, I need help. So in such instances the rest come together because of that solidarity, the whole feeling that they belong to one movement.
That is true. We got a lot more to talk about, of course, more importantly about the Sarvodaya women's movement, and of course the forum that's on violence against women that kicks off on the 25th, if I'm mistaken, after this quick break.